Hello and welcome to another Natural Genius at Work interview series where I am interviewing some really cool people that have successfully made that switch from one career to something completely different, in the hope that maybe it will inspire something that you have in your own mind of what you would love to step out and start doing. So today in this series, I am joined by the one and only Zoe Chu, who is, oh, she's this side of me, Zoe Chu, who is Asia's leading baby and sleep expert. She's been doing this for the last 7 years, but there was a whole bunch of other stuff that she was doing prior to that, which she can tell us about a bit more today. But more recently, she's also now also a certified adult sleep expert as well as the babies and the children. So she can service the whole family because we could all become very sleep deprived, as I know very well myself from recent experience. So Zoe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Angie. Thanks for having me.
More than welcome. It's very nice to see your smiley face today, and I'm really excited for you to be able to share your story and your journey to inspire others to start to think maybe a little bit differently about where they want to take their career. So, of course, behind every successful person, there is always a bigger cause, a bigger mission. So for you, what is that? What is your big why, your big reason?
Well, actually, what I'm doing currently was not something that I dream about becoming when I was a little kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this baby and child sleep expert thing. And there's actually this book called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. And it talks about God's purpose of our life on earth. And right now, I feel what I'm doing currently for the past 7 years is basically fulfilling God's purpose for my life. Okay.
Nice.
And I've been so blessed that I can, empower tired and sleep deprived parents out there that, hey, they don't have to keep struggling like this with their little one's sleep. Because so many parents out there are struggling and they don't know that there's actually a solution to get their little one to be sleeping well and through the night, like 11 to 12 hours every single night. And I just want them to be able to kiss goodbye to sleepless nights and just tell them that, hey, there is a solution. You don't have to keep suffering. You don't have to keep struggling. Because, like I said, there's just so many parents out there. They have not heard of my profession before, some of them, they said, what is this baby sleep expert, right?
Me too.
And yeah, so once you have a baby, this is something that when you're struggling with your baby sleep, and then you realize that there must be a way, and there is a way. That's what I'm here to tell everyone out there, that if you're struggling, there is a solution. You don't have to keep struggling like this anymore.
Yeah. Great, thank you. So nice tip on the book as well. So if there's people watching and thinking, hey, I'd like to know a little bit more about my purpose, then check out that little tip on the book there to see if it can stimulate something a little bit more for you to get that clarity. Thanks, Zoe.
Yeah.
So life hasn't always been how it is right now. You haven't always been doing this. It's been for the last 7 years, but obviously, there was life before that. So what's your backstory? I'm very intrigued to hear.
Well, that's actually two backstory, but I'll tell you the main one, because I wanted to share with the audience, how everyone wants to know how I became this baby and child sleep expert, because I actually started out as an auditor. Okay, I was an auditor, and I went into
that sounds like it would put you to sleep. sorry auditors, if you're watching.
Yeah, so my story begins when I first brought my babies home from the hospital. Not just one, but 2 babies. Okay.
Ooh,
and
twins.
Yeah, twins. That's right. And being a first-time mom, I remember feeling so excited, so happy, and basically anxious as well, right? And I remember holding these 2 little babies, my 2 bundle of joys in my arms, right? And they were looking at me as if I was their whole world. And I was really determined to become the best mom that I can be for them. okay, giving them all that I have, and I will love them with all my heart and soul. And this is what I think most moms can, all moms would probably say the same, right? When they first
Sure.
realize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was living back in New Zealand then, right? And I remember there were so many days, day in, day out, I would nurse them, sometimes both at the same time, just to save time, right? And not just to save time, but sometimes they are both hungry at the same time.
I can
And
see
then
why
I
you're a
would,
super nanny. This is your training.
thank you. Yeah, so after I fed them, I would burp them, change them, then, try to rock and cuddle them and put them to sleep. And, while they're sleeping, I try to, pump because I want to keep my supply up, right? I
Yeah.
really felt like a cow, to be honest.
Mm.
and and then come nighttime, after I feed them, I will try to catch some sleep. And if I'm lucky, then I'll get like 3 hours of sleep before one twin will start to go, and then and then before I start to go into a full-blown cry, I will wake up and then try to, pick up the twin A and then pick him up to feed him. And then I would try to settle him back to sleep. But if I'm not so lucky, it might take a while. I have to really rock him and get him into the drowsy and sleepy state, and then I put him back down. And then I'll try to get some shut eye, but before you know it, then twin B, the second twin, will wake up. And that's how my whole night, the vicious cycle just keep going. And I didn't want to trouble my husband because he's a dentist and he has to work, and I wouldn't want his patient to suffer from the hand of a sleepy dentist, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So this went on for for a few months, I guess, night after night. And I was starting to realize that the sleep deprivation was starting to take a toll on me emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
I was really beyond exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So and you know what they say, that you will turn into a mombie. A mombie.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's very clever.
Yeah. And that's what I was turning. That's what I was. And then until one fine day, it's not one fine day, actually I should say it was a horrible day, because I got into a shouting match with my mother-in-law. Yeah. And then I was really horrified of myself, obviously, because the usual well-rested me would not have disrespected my mother-in-law like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But thank God she has forgiven me since then. But it's just that I realized that I could not go on like this. And here's the one fine day. The one fine day, my neighbor, she came to visit me, and she has 2 kids herself, and she was looking really happy, well rested, and all that. And then she probably saw my panda-looking eyes, and then she said, "Zoe, why don't you read books on sleep training?" And I was like, "Oh, what is sleep training? I didn't even know that, you need to train babies to sleep." Have you ever, basically get this, you got a you got a message from someone, and then you feel like they are the messenger. Okay. And I felt that
Yeah.
that was what's happening here. My
Yeah.
neighbor, my lovely neighbor, she was the messenger, okay, for me to really change my life around. And I was thinking, how do I do this? And then, she just asked me to read books on sleep training. And so if you want to know me, if you know me well, basically I'm a very teachable person. I'm very determined. And so I actually went to the library and I borrowed some books. Okay. And back then, this was like 14 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't do a lot of research online, but you have a little bit, right? Internet was not really prominent yet, but
Oh,
still
yeah, of
I could
course.
research. Yep. And yeah, so I went to the library, borrowed lots of books, and then I started pouring myself into countless of books and research, and so I implemented what I've learned, and also I guess I seek some advice from my neighbor, and then I implemented what I learned, and voila, my twins started to sleep well and through the night,
Mm.
and a lot of my neighbors were, neighbors and friends and family, they were so amazed that they started asking me for advice when they got pregnant with, and they start having problems getting their babies to sleep well.
Yeah.
And fast forward to a few years, then I moved to Singapore, okay, and then I started blogging my sleep training journey when after I gave birth to my number three, okay, and then other tired and sleep deprived parents found my blog online, and they started asking me if I do sleep consultation.
Nice.
That's really how I got myself into this sleep business. Started with my twins not sleeping well, and then I
Yeah.
just thought that I should share this experience with other parents out there because I've seen so many parents who are struggling. And then so I just wanted to share what I know in my head
Mm.
and turn it into a blog. And then, well, thanks to Google, people search for sleep training, or people search for like babies not sleeping, and then they found my blog. And yeah, my work has been featured in a lot of like magazine medias and
Awesome.
newspapers. I've been interviewed on the radios, the channels a few times, and
Yeah.
so and yeah, and now I have a book,
Yay!
sleep.
She's got her own book. She is the
Yeah,
sleep training now. This is such an awesome story.
and I just can't believe this amazing journey that I got into because I decided that I need to share what I've learned with the rest of the world. And I've helped thousands of tired and sleep deprived families because I decided that I want to share my genius, I guess, like you want to call it, natural genius, with the rest of the world. And because I took that first step by sharing, because I know a lot of people out there say, oh, I'm not an expert. What makes me the expert? But if you are in a room of like 20 people, and if you know something more than the 19 people out there, you are the expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So where can people get your book? If people want to grab a
Oh,
copy of a book, where can they get that?
they can actually get this book at the popular Kinokuniya Times. You can get it from Amazon if you want to as well, or on my website. You can just order it online as an ebook. Yeah.
Great. Okay, it's readily available. So get yourself that book if you're interested to have some sleep training from our leading expert here, who's now written her own book. Awesome. So look, there's a lot going on in life, and there's certainly a lot going on right now in people's lives. And there's ways that we need to keep our minds healthy and to stay optimistic and hopeful and keep ourselves in that zone, that mode. So what are the healthy habits or practices or mottos that you have integrated in your life so that you stay mentally strong?
Well, this is something that I always tell my kids. I say, hey, you got to work hard and play hard, but work hard first and then reward yourself. And I also tell them, like, if the problems can be solved by money, okay, then it's not really something that we need to stress too much about. Because to me, I think money is infinite. Yeah. And money is a resource, right? We just need to know how to make more money. Okay. But time, on the other hand, is finite, right?
Yeah.
And so we really need to make sure that we learn something, and we gotta, we gotta learn something, because if we can get there quicker with the help of an expert or a mentor, then I think we should just invest in that, because we want to get there quicker rather than taking our own sweet time, right?
Yeah, for sure. So for you, there's some mottos that you're living by. Any particular habits that you've started to do, and this is it's just something you do and it is ingrained in your life?
Habits. I would say I live my life by a certain values that I've been doing. Okay. I'm always trying to tell my kids, and I try to be a good role model as well. I say, you
Yes.
gotta be kind, you gotta be patient, and you gotta be generous. And I find that it's really important to embrace these three values, because we need to show kindness to people,
Mm,
and we can't thrive alone. Okay, we
yes.
need a strong support system in our lives, right? And I think it's important for us to be vulnerable as well, so that we can make genuine connection with
Yeah,
people,
yeah, for sure.
right? And we are all humans, and we are built to connect, and every act of kindness is an act of connection, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I live my life,
Yeah.
using these three values that I hold strongly to. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're living life by your authentic values. That's kind of what keeps you sane. It keeps you in a place of inner strength, because
Yeah.
there's tough times for everyone. Like you say, we're all human, right? So we all experience
Yeah.
the ups and the downs of life. And the
Mm.
more that you're stepping out and doing bigger things, it doesn't necessarily become easier, right? You're still trying to be a mother and a wife and a daughter and everything else, all these different hats that we all wear. So I
Yeah.
always find it an interesting question to ask people, because we all have different ways of how we kind of keep ourselves grounded to be
Mm.
able to be in service to what we do, what we love, and also to the people around us.
Yes.
So you talked earlier about your neighbor
Mm-hmm.
being, like being a messenger, kind of saying,
Mm.
hey, this is kind of what you should be doing. This is kind of your destiny, lady. Right? That's kind of what was coming through. You saw it as a message, and her as the messenger. He talks about
Mm.
having mentors and coaches to help speed up the process for when you're
Yes.
trying to do something new, and setting up, whether that's setting up business or accelerating some kind of personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
So, we meet many teachers in life. For you, who kind of stands out? Who are the most influential people in your life that have kind of shaped who you are today, and why?
Um, to be honest, in every stages of our life, we all have different people inspiring us, right? Growing up, I would say my parents inspired me a lot, because they inspired me to work hard, because we grew up without much, really.
Mm,
And I knew that I needed to work hard in order to thrive, in order to get the scholarship, because I needed a scholarship to be able to study in university.
mm,
And then I got a scholarship to go overseas, basically to go to New Zealand to pursue
yeah.
my master's. Yeah, so I needed that extra push, and I needed to work hard in order to get what I want. And
Mm,
so yeah, that was something that my parents taught me. That's why I told you that we got to work hard and then play hard.
yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as I became a working adult, as an auditor, as an accountant, I looked to my bosses for inspiration
Mm,
on, how I climbed the corporate ladders, right? And yeah, I had this boss, his name is Murray, and he owned multiple businesses at that time. But he was always very, very kind to all his staff. He treated all the staff like families.
mm,
And to
nice.
me, that was very, yeah, that was very kind, very genuine of him. And we all feel very connected to him.
Yes.
And so that I learned that, hey, you need to treat everyone with kindness as well, right?
Mm, mm,
And then as I became a mompreneur right now, okay, I look to my friends, okay, who are also mompreneurs, going through the same journey as I am, how they
mm,
juggle, their children and also their business.
yeah.
And so because everyone has their stories, and that
Mm,
inspired me greatly as well.
mm,
And our business mentor, that's how we met, from industry rock stars, right? Kane,
yes.
Alicia,
Yes.
Kevin, and Corey. Now that's really they are the one inspiring me right now in my mompreneur journey, because
Yeah.
they push me to go beyond my limiting belief, okay,
Mm,
and to value myself more than I am, because I
mm,
think we always kind of like stuck in a rut, and you feel like um, we need them to really,
yes.
because they have been through what we are going through right now. And we need mentors, we need them to actually get us unstuck, right? And lead us to the path
Yes.
that we want to be in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's something here that in a support network, that
Mm.
you've been sort of seeking out the right support networks for you, that
Yeah.
you resonate with, that also allows for you to kind of push yourself a little bit further, right? So nudge a little bit further outside of that comfort zone, because it keeps growing, right? The more that we keep growing, this damn comfort zone keeps growing with us, right? So we're continually finding ourselves back in there, even though we feel like even though you may feel like you've really stretched and grown from where you were even 7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So kind of just to keep nudging you along, right? People that
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish that I found our mentors much earlier, because that would have propelled me to that destination that I want to go quicker.
yes,
But I guess it's never too late, right? Never too late.
exactly. At least you found them, right? Sometimes you
Yeah.
could go through the whole life and never actually seek that. So
Yeah.
we can be grateful, right, that is present in your life.
Yes.
So you mentioned earlier about genius, obviously.
Yeah.
Being the Natural Genius Academy, I truly believe that we all have something very special and unique that we are awesome at, that we can offer out to the world. You know, it could be anything. You know, it could be being an amazing accountant. It could be being an amazing mother. It could be being an amazing speaker with a message to share. I mean, it could be absolutely anything that's unique to you. And once you find it, it really sparks something in you to drive you to do more and to grow and to be better. So for you, what is your natural genius?
Okay, well, I believe I'm no one special. Okay, everyone is basically special in their own unique ways, right?
We're
But
all
if you
awesomely
really,
special.
yes, correct. But if you really want me to pinpoint exactly what genius that I have, I would say that I'm a very teachable person. Okay, I always tell my kids, no matter how old you get, you always need to stay teachable. Never stop learning. Okay, because the fact that I was teachable, I learned about baby sleep, right? I mean, I didn't tell my neighbor to like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, keep soldiering on and wait for them to outgrow those nighttime wake ups. But because I knew that, you know, she has 2 kids and she's now a very happy and well-rested mom. I knew that she's been through that. And then now she's telling me that I should read about sleep training. And so because of me being teachable, I decided, okay, I'm going to learn this. Okay. I don't want to keep struggling like this.
Yes.
Okay. And so, yeah. And then I found the solution to my struggle, and I decided to share my genius with the rest of the world, like with the rest of the struggling moms out there.
Yes.
And it took me some time, okay, for me to come up with my own simple 5-step system, okay, to help all these sleep deprived mamas get back their sleep.
Yeah.
But I finally got there in eventually. And of course, you know, writing this book, it took me a year or so, like because I had 4 kids then, and so when they are sleeping at night, I sacrifice my sleep at night, and because I had to wait till they go to bed, and then I have time to actually write the book and, you know, get everything. I self-published it at first, right? And so got it, everything, and all that happened in 1 year. About a year or so. And then I'm glad I did, because I have so many people like telling me that, Zoe, your book is a life savior, you know, telling me that, wow, you know, because of your book, that now my life has changed and for the better. My baby is going to sleep, and you know, I have date nights with my husband, and this is what I love. You know, this is what I love hearing, and this is why I love doing what I do, because of all the transformation that I have helped all these families, you know, experience, and it's just amazing.
How lovely. That's what you want, right? You wrote this book for other people, not for you. So it's great that that people are actually getting the value and the benefits of what it was intended for, right?
And my daughter, when she becomes a mom, she can read this book as well.
That's so cool. So you sound like a very determined lady to get to where you are. There's a determination there, right? You know, you recognize that there has to be a little bit of sacrifice, maybe on a temporary basis, to be able just to propel you that further forward with your mission and what it is that you want to do. But I think what you're saying about your genius is that you're receptive. Yeah, you're just receptive. And when we are in a receptive frame of mind, then you can spot the opportunities that are in front of you.
Yeah.
The mind is open, right? So you're able to follow the breadcrumbs. These kind of breadcrumbs are kind of thrown out all around us, right? But if we're not open and receptive to them, we don't see them.
Yeah.
But for you say, I'm very teachable. It sounds like, the mind is open and very receptive. And actually knowing you and hanging out with you and spending some time with you, I can that's now making a lot of sense.
Oh, thank you.
Opportunity spotter.
I like that.
Yeah. We all need to be the opportunity spotter, right? Because then we follow the right path. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So as someone who has successfully made the career switch, what advice would you give to people that are watching who may lack the courage to, explore that and take that first step?
Well, I would say don't be afraid to fail. Okay. All the successful people have failed so many times.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. And they've made so many mistakes, right? So don't be afraid to fail. Okay. You got to take that action. And you really don't want to get on with your life wondering, oh, what if I've done that? What if I've actually taken that course, or what if I've actually pursued that career? So I would say take a page from Nike famous slogan, just do it.
Yeah.
Right. And also another advice I would give to your audience is that every road that we take, okay, someone else has actually taken that journey.
Yeah, I think we forget that, right?
Yeah. And that's why we need to learn from other experts or mentors, okay, because they can help us, guide us, and help us get there quicker, okay?
Yeah.
And so we really need to find someone that we trust, someone that we can get along well with, and let them hold our hands throughout this journey.
Yeah. Okay, so no regrets. Just do it. And work with someone that can accelerate that process so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor for longer.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Zoe. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today.
Likewise.
So look, for those of you that are watching, I hope that you enjoyed and were able to take away some of the pearls of wisdom that Zoe was sharing with you there. If you're thinking, hey, I want to step out, I want to do something different, and you need to get some clarity, then do get in touch with me. It's exactly what I'm doing as a coach out there in the world. And I'd be honored to have a conversation with you to help you get there and get some clarity around that. That's all from us here today. It's bye from me. It's bye from Zoe. You're on this side. I get really confused with the mirror system here on the camera. I'm just going to wave. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.